Welcome to this week's convo, everyone. What we're actually going to be doing for the next 10 to 15 minutes is I'm going to be talking about stress management. I think this is such an important topic, especially to talk about on your fitness and nutrition journey. And all you guys here who are watching, raise your hands if you can absolutely relate with this. Oh, I guess everyone just raised their hand, right? So I guess everyone can relate. But yeah, balancing like working out, nutrition, getting your steps in, meal prepping and macros on top of life is pretty difficult. Can we all agree? Right? We can agree, right? Stuff happens, right? Maybe, you're like Christina, you just get a comedy show, a big opportunity, and things are going wild and crazy. Maybe you're like Cameron, who is like grinding hard on, his business, or maybe you're like Marie, who has a family. It's not just herself; she's got kids and all this other stuff, right? So, like working a job, maybe you have a business, maybe you got kids, maybe you're in a relationship. It can feel almost impossible not just to balance it, but to stay consistently with it over a period of time. Can we all agree? Hands up. Can we agree? Right. Now, I want to be sharing with you guys a personal story before we can get into one of my own about how I handle stress. And I have a tremendous amount of stress in my life, a ton of stress. And something that I've really learned over the years is how important stress management is and how important it is to manage your stress so you can get into your flow, what I call your flow state. Now, besides running an online business, I do quite a lot of other things in my day-to-day life. I also have to train for my competitions, my sports. I also have to do macro coaching. I also have a girlfriend who's very demanding of my time, and she does have two kids as well, right? And I'm pretty much a full-time dad in that role, right? So life is extremely busy on a day-to-day basis. But the part that I personally find that's really hard to manage is everyone's emotions. Everyone is very, very emotional in the house at all times. And same with myself, right? Because those days that you wake up super early, maybe you go to the gym, maybe you're on your nutrition plan, you still have to show up at your job every day, no matter what you're going through. Can we all agree with that? Right? We get a lot of hard days that we're kind of like going through, and we have to show up. We got to show up for ourselves. You got to show up for your relationship. Maybe you got to show up for your kids, right? One personal story that I actually went through, I think this was not last year, the year before. In November, it is one of our busiest times during the year, right? In terms of like my own business and fitness coaching. And something happened that November. I lost one of my best friends. He got hit by a car, and it was an extremely stressful time because despite that happening, I got clients to serve. I still got to show up on social media. I still got to help the kids, be there for my girlfriend, be there for myself. So when life like that happens, the question is, well, how do you balance it all? Number one, you can't. Right? Number one, you can't. You're a human being. That's the first thing I want you guys to understand, especially for those who are watching the replay. You're a human being with human emotions. And if you don't acknowledge your emotions and if you don't embrace exactly what you're going through, you're never going to get ahead. You can't push yourself to a 10 out of 10 extreme every single day. Do we understand that? Thumbs up if we all can relate to that, if we can all understand that. Because stress can feel like a weight on your shoulders, but I also know that's possible to take that weight and turn it into fuel if you do it correctly. So, number one is you have to understand that stress is not a sign of weakness. You're a human being, but it is a sign that you care. It's a sign that you're in an arena. It's a sign that maybe there's something in your life that you have to address in order to change and improve as a human being and in order to make sure you accomplish your fitness goals. And if you don't address stress, right, stress is probably one of the biggest killers for people. It affects you hormonally. That's what gives people heart attacks later down the road. What gives people depression. Stress just kills the body. Now, stress is the body's response to demand. Stress is not bad. So what stress does is that it raises something in the body called cortisol, right? Cortisol is a hormone for the body, but it's a very important hormone. Cortisol is not bad for you, but if it's high all the time, then it is a bad thing. Now, short bursts of stress can sharpen us, like working out, a little bit of mental stress. Maybe you're like Cameron doing 15,000 steps a day, stuff like that. That's very, very, very good. But chronic stress is what holds you back from results. It messes with sleep. It raises cortisol, which can impact fat loss and energy. Because if you're super stressed out, what do a lot of people like to do? Well, if you're like me, I like to eat. When I'm stressed, I'm eating donuts. I'm eating pizza. I'm eating all of the good food, and that impacts fat loss and how you look and your energy. It can absolutely lead to cravings, not just with like fast food. It can lead to cravings in terms of like alcohol, making poor decisions. Maybe you're going to miss workouts just because you feel so overwhelmed, or maybe you have a lack of focus. Now, the question you got to ask yourself is this. If you're struggling with your workout or nutrition right now, well, then maybe stress is not the holdback. Maybe it's the opportunity to open up that hidden block. So what I want you guys to start to look at stress as is, don't look at it as a bad thing, as something that's dooming. Look at it as data. It's an opportunity to look within yourself to figure out what's going on. Ask yourself this: what is this stress telling me? What's important to me right now? Usually for me, when I'm super stressed out, I get anxiety, I get panic attacks, and that's usually a sign I'm not addressing something. Can we all relate to that? Maybe it's like a conversation with someone that you do not want to have, but it's stressing you out. It's like panicking your system, right? Maybe for Cameron, it's talking to one of his employees about them doing a bad clean, and he's super stressed out about it, and he's holding it back day after day after day, but he has to have that conversation. Or another one is in your relationship. Maybe you need to have a tough conversation, but you keep avoiding it, but you're getting super stressed out. You got to address it. So that's number one. What is the stress telling me, and what's important to you right now? You also need to understand stress means you're growing, you're stretching, you're leveling up. It's always an opportunity. As an example, let's say you get a new job. A new job equals pressure, right? Pressure, pressure, pressure. But it is also opportunity. Another thing, that a lot of our students or our group here goes through is maybe menopause. It's a lot of change, but it's also a new chapter for strength and self-mastery. So there's a good quote, actually one of my favorite quotes. Diamonds are formed under pressure. And stress reframed is proof you're being molded into more. So no matter what you're going through, especially during a stressful time, it is an opportunity for you to become the person that you need to be. So here are some stress management toolkits that I personally use myself that I definitely think you guys can use for yourself. The good thing is they're simple. You can repeat them over and over again. Cameron takes some mental notes because I know you and you get stressed out all the time. Number one is breath work. If you never have done breath work before, I definitely suggest to anyone go to a breath work class, because it's specifically designed, the science behind it is designed to release stress. Now, a breathwork class, and they'll explain it way better than me, I believe it works with the parasympathetic nervous system. And again, it's designed to release trauma, stress out of the body. I do them myself. They are completely awesome. Now, I don't always have time to attend an hour, 90-minute breathwork class that's going to kick your butt even afterwards, but I do have time to do breathwork in the moment. So this one particularly works with your nervous system. It rewires the nervous system and reduces cortisol on the spot. So if you're extremely stressed out, this is something that you can do. So what you do is you sit down, you're going to inhale for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to hold that breath for 4 seconds. And then you're going to exhale for 4 seconds. For 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when all of that oxygen, all of that breath is out of your system, then you're going to hold it at the end for 4 seconds again. You're going to repeat this process now, ideally for 8 to 10 minutes. What this is going to do, it's going to rewire your nervous system and reduce stress and reduce cortisol. Dustin, this will be very good for you to try, right? Is that breath work. It really does magic for the body. Second thing is move your body. It doesn't need to be at the gym. It doesn't need to be cardio. It doesn't need to be anything like that. But moving your body does raise certain dopamine or hormones in your body to make you feel super good. Even a 10-minute walk lowers your stress hormone. You can do yoga. You can do controlled articular rotations, that morning routine that Carson likes to give out. Anything to do with you moving more. Heck, I even know some people, they have a mini trampoline in their office and they'll go on there and they will jump up and down. Work. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. The next one, the third one, is have what I call anchor rituals. Start your day with a small non-negotiable, with your phone off. This will stress people more than anything else. But if you can have your phone off, even if it's for the first 10 minutes, ideally an hour a day, journal. Maybe do prayers, maybe do gratitudes, maybe go have a protein shake and walk. But the goal is to be in an environment where it is silent. Now, for those that have kids, that might seem impossible to do, but if you can get up 5 minutes or 10 minutes earlier, just so you can have that moment of peace to yourself, it's going to do wonders for you. Because the whole idea is to get yourself in a place where you're away from stimulation. And when you're away from stimulation, then you can kind of work through the stress that's going on in your body. And then lastly, it's what I call the 24-hour rule. This is something my mentor taught me. When you're stressed out, you got 24 hours to complain about it, to bitch about it, to say whatever you want that you need to get out of your system. But as soon as those 24 hours is done, you got to wake up and you got to move forward. Because if you let that stuff weigh on you, it is going to weigh on you tremendously. Does that make sense? If you guys get value, put thumbs up. If you didn't get value, you can put thumbs down. You know, I like the feedback. Now, stress is often the reason progress stalls, but by managing stress, you create an environment where your body can burn fat, build muscle, and actually recover properly. And this is why we coach you as humans, as human beings, not just macros and workouts, because your mind and your body are one team. And if this isn't locked in, your body can't be locked in. Can we all agree to that? Right? So I really want you guys to understand stress isn't here to break you. It's here to build you. And every time you manage stress, instead of letting it manage you, you're becoming the person who not only hits their goals, but sustains them for life.